I'm mace finger, and basically I'm making the contact process at home for available sulfuric acid for all those who don't have it and would want to use it but can't get it, or whatever, any other reason, or just make it cheaper and easier to make. It is like a one-time investment in that sense that you need to make it once. Maybe you will need to change out the plastic tubings or anything like that few weeks at a time, and then pull out a lot of acid. What's been changed since the last video? Basically, we start with this little 12-volt AC pump. The whole system has been reorganized in the sense that it has been screwed to those wood plates that you see here, so I can avoid wires being all over the place and not organized and having a big chaos. This is a bit more sophisticated. This is like a adjustable power supply, adjustable voltage and current power supply. Connect here instead of here. We connect there with 24 volts, we connect to that. This is like a peristaltic pump, I'm gonna talk about that later. This is a buck-buck converter, steps down the 12 volt or the 24 volts into 12 volts. That powers, so basically this and this is in, they are connected in parallel, so they draw both the same amount of voltage, so there is no voltage drop in between of them. Little pump is pushing air through this lead into the buffer tank. The buffer tank is therefore to expand the gases and to reduce the amount of gas that is being pumped into the system at the time. So here it can expand and basically take up a less pressure and have a higher volume. So then from there the gas goes into this. This is a industrial type of pressure reducer that you can adjust with the dial on the bottom. It adjusts the pressure and thus the airflow that is fed into the system. Through that there is this industrial type of compressor dehumidifier. It takes out the water from the air, and after that first it goes to the preheater. This is a plastic tubing, just like this, cut open to hold the quartz tubes in place with a wire tied to them. So first of all it goes to the preheater. From the preheater we go into this. This is a burning chamber. This is housing the nickel crucible in there that's going to store the molten sulfur for us that is lit to fire, and we provide air, hot air through the preheater so it doesn't cool off the liquid sulfur and thus is extinguished, so cancel the fire inside. And then from then on it goes into the first catalytic chamber. From the first catalytic chamber it goes to the bubbler. To the bubbler we go through this black liquid here is sulfuric acid, but it has some carbon from the graphite electrodes that have been fallen apart. They have been pulverized, or I don't know, they fall apart basically under the load, the electrical load, as time goes on, as they oxidize. This is why it is. So it goes to the bottom, it bubbles through. I don't know if it is visible or not, but there are like little glass shards in there. This whole jar is 1.5 liters, so this would be around 1 liter or maybe even more. But this only takes up, the liquid volume only takes up like 700 milliliters or something like that. Then from then on, the gas goes into the first dryer. This has been the first major change since the last week. So this is, we need this extra drying because of the fact that when you bubble through any amount of air or any gas through a liquid, the liquid will evaporate and some water particles will enter the gas stream and thus have a moisture in them. So before it enters the next catalytic chamber, and that's going to lead to some not catastrophes but some catalyst degradation over time if there is too much water in the gas that we carry through. So I have a little dry air chamber here that contains calcium chloride, and that is a very good deci content, so basically an air dryer. From then on, this leads to our second catalyst chamber that goes into the bubbler again. From the bubbler we go into another dryer, for explained for the same reason as before. From the dryer we go through the third catalyst, and from the third catalyst we go into the third bubbler, this here, and from the third bubbler we go into the scrubber that you need to imagine here. It's not here because I didn't put it in there. As I said, the wires have been organized. Just irregular, I don't know, side point here at the end, if you have been still watching. I found myself watching these kind of videos and maybe even finding some value in them, but if you don't take action on these, it's just mindless entertainment purposes. We know that that's not good for us, in the sense that our life doesn't progress, and you can say in your free time you want to do X and Y, Z and Y, and I'm not gonna judge you if you watch Mr. Beast type of brain rot content, but I'm not gonna not gonna admire you, that's for certain. So these kind of videos are good only if you take action, or in otherwise if you get some other value, like I want to teach you something here about life. Because you might say, who the fuck are you to talk? I have been through a lot of shit and through a lot of adversity in my life. Intentionally put this into the end of the video because I know a lot of little children who, or at least maybe they are adults, but they are in the children mindset that they can't sit through a 20-second video that's not hyper edited and other bullshit like that. So that's it. But I've not been always this, like going into the zone and doing X and working. And I'm not saying that I only work. I get sometimes into the state of just watching a movie, and that's okay. I think once a week, I believe that's okay. And maybe sometimes I binge like 2 or 3 movies a week, but what matters most is that in my free time I usually don't do these types of activities. My basic attack in life isn't watching Mr. Beast type of videos, but the videos that actually I can build my life into a better position. Because there is like academia and work life, and there is another part of life that a lot of people don't talk about, which is like personal life. In the modern day, personal life starts when you finish work and you get home. And then, because you are tired as fuck of the hard work day, you just want to relax in that sense and go and spend time watching videos that are basically Mr. Beast type of hyper edited videos. And just to end the side note here, I think what really matters is how you spend your time, because these words are not mine. The biggest indicator of your success in your work life and in your personal life is that what you spend your time on and what you spend money on. When you watch educational content like these types of videos, when it's not just entertainment, but it's only for educational purposes, that I tell you about specific tactics of how you can, sleep more and then you'll be able to work. Because it's not just like work and life, they are separate, but they are basically in your life. It is like your life. And if you are working a lot, but you are depressed because of it, then your personal life will suffer, because you need to cope with the stress, and maybe you eat junk food or watch porn or jack off multiple times a day or watch movies, and basically your down goes life hill. And when that's the case, your personal life will suffer, and this is going to be like a negative worm, like a loophole, negative reinforcement cycle and all that stuff. So basically it's going to snowball, as we say, so it's going to compound into itself. And this can happen in the opposite way. So if you are improving in your personal life, after, even if it is hard, after work you go home and do the right thing, you read, you meditate, you do all these kind of things, and then you become better. And thus, because you became better, your work life is going to become better, because who is the better person, or who will achieve more in his 8 hours of work? The one guy who slept 8 hours, or the one guy who binged watched Netflix, fabbed like 4 times and then for that reason he couldn't go into bed and slept 4 hours instead of 8. Obviously the guy who slept 8 will outperform the guy who slept 4. So just a quick introduction into self-improvement, or what I have been doing in my free time. And I think you could learn a lot from me or from others. I'm not saying I'm the ultimate man, because as you can see, I'm living in a very modest environment. Of course, I'm not living here. This is just a lab, but you get the point. If this is interesting to you, then you should check out my second channel, which I talk more in depth about self-improvement and other things, because here, it's more chemistry based, so I can't really talk all of self-improvement in a video. I could basically, but maybe nobody would watch it, whatever. So you get the point. See you in the next one. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Mwah.